Hi, welcome back. By now, I'm sure that you would have realized that I'm not editing any of these clips because my main intention to create this course for you is to make sure that I'm giving out as much information and knowledge that I have to the world so that people can learn and understand stock market, and the number of people in our country increases when it comes to trading in the market, as we know that it's a very less percentage of people in our country who trade. So I hope you don't pay more attention to the errors I make in terms of the grammatical errors, hand language, or any expressions, and just stick on to the knowledge and the main concepts of the course. So, with that being said, without wasting any further time, let's get to the topic of this certain episode on how do you read a Japanese candlestick. As you can see on the chart, there are two different types of candles in the market. The first is a green candle, the second is a red candle. Now, most of the ways on how you read it is the same, but there is one difference that comes along with that. Before getting on to that, let's understand how does a candle is formed. Now, the first thing is a candle has four parts to it as discussed in the previous episode. The first part is the opening price of the candle. The second part is the closing price, higher wick and lower wick of a certain candle. Now, this area that you see for a green candle, the body where it starts, this is the body of the candle, that's the wick of the candle. The part where the body starts is called the it is called the opening price of a certain candle. Similarly, the point where the body closes for a green candle only, this is called a closing price in the market. I'll repeat again. If a candle, so we have a candle here. Okay, I think this doesn't work. Let's go to the previous example only. Now here, in this green candle, the point where the body opens is called the opening price, and the point where the body closes is called the closing price of a candle. Other than that, the line that you have on the top is called the higher wick. The line that you have in the bottom is called the lower wick. Now the higher wick, wherever it closes, that is the closing price of the higher wick. Similarly, the line wherever this closes, that is called the closing price of the lower wick. Let's take another example of a green candle. Over here we have another green candle. Now how do we read it? We read it this way, that where the body starts, that will be my opening price of the candle. Where the body closes, that will be my closing price of the candle. Now on the other hand, we have a lower wick, we have a higher wick. Now if you would have paid attention, you will see that the wicks are of different sizes, the body is of different sizes, because that is how we read a certain candle when it comes to change in the price. Now, the lower wick is way longer and the higher wick is way shorter. Now, how do we read that? Is where the wick closes, which is this point. That is called the closing of the wick, lower wick. The wick where it closes on the top, that's called the closing of the higher wick. Now, if I place my mouse over the chart, and if I place it at the opening price of the candle, you will see that there is a number on the right axis, it pops up. And also there is a time on the lower axis, it pops up. So if I place it here, the time as you can see is 2nd June 2021, and the price for the opening price is going to be 15,520. Now that simply states that on 2nd of June 2021, the price for this certain candle opened at 15,520. And if I place it on the closing end of that certain candle, you will see that the same day, which is on daily time frame, the same day, the candle closed at 15,570. Now, on the other hand, if I place it on the higher wick, that shows me that 15,590 or 15,600, rounding it off, is the higher wick closing price. Now, what is the higher wick closing price? Now, in this time when the candle was being created, the candle went, I want to correct myself, the price went as high as this number or that price, which is 15,600, rounding it off. On the lower hand, the lower wick tells me that in that time frame, in that period of time when the candle was being formed, how low did the price go? So the price went as low as 15,460 in the market, and it went as high as 15,590 or 600 in the market, and it opened at this price and it finally closed at this price before after going that low and after going that high, it finally closed here in the market. Now, how do I read this candle is also very simple. I'm just going to place my cursor here and I will see that 15,520 is the opening price. The closing price is around 15,570. Then there is an increment in the price that simply tells me that it is a bullish candle. It is a green candle, and that determines how well you read. If you combine multiple candles together, you will find a flow in the market, that the green candle had an increment in the price, the red candle has a decrement in the price, and then another green candle has an increment in the price. So before we go on to the flow part of it, let's understand how to read a red candle in the market. Now the red candle also has the same way and the same process on how do you read that, but there's just one difference that comes along with that. Now what is the difference? Now for a green candle, we read the lower end, which is the opening part of the body, as the opening price, and the higher closing point of the body is the closing point. Now on the other hand, for the red candle, the point where the body closes, which is nothing but the higher point according to the green candle, this becomes your opening price for a red candle, and the lower part becomes your closing price for the red candle. Okay, I'll repeat it again. Let's take a different red candle over here. The point where this starts, the top part of it, that is the opening price of the body and also the opening price of the candle, and the lower part where the body closes for the red candle, that is the closing price of the body as well as the closing price of the candle. So how do we read this? That the price opened for that candle at 15,630, it fell as low as 15,575, and then it went as high as the higher wick, it came as low as the lower wick. The concept of wick is same for bullish, same for bearish, red and green, but the way you read the body is the only difference in the red and the green candle. So I hope you are clear with this point. Let's move on to the next episode.